Good evening, everybody, and uh, this is a condolence meeting being organized by the Urological Society of India in association with the East Zone chapter of the Urological Society of India. This is to pay respects to one of our senior most members of the USI, Brigadier Basudev Rautray, who left for the heavenly abode on 20th April 2022. Our heartfelt condolences to his family. We have arranged this Shraddhanjali in memory of Brigadier Rautray. I would be inviting the office bearers first to pay their respects, followed by some of the seniors, and if we have time, we'll allow the other members. My sincere request to all of you to be brief so that we give opportunity to most of the members who have logged in to pay respects to Brigadier Rautray. To start with, I would now invite Dr. Ravindra Sabnis, President of the Urological Society of India, to give his opening remarks. Over to you, Dr. Sabnis. You have to unmute, Dr. Sabnis.
Thank you, Keshav, for organizing this condolence meeting to pay tribute to our beloved member, one of the senior member. It is very unfortunate, and I feel very, very sad that recently we lost Dr. Rautray, who was one of the pillars of Urological Society of India. And today recently we lost Brigadier Rautray. I know Dr. Rautray since the time I ventured into urology, and after passing, when I started attending the UCCons and taking interest in the USI affairs, almost 30 years back now. Since then, I have been seeing Dr. Rautray talking, attending the conferences and attending the AGMs and giving advices. Last 30 years, I have been watching him. And one thing which I realized from him, that he was really up to date and he was really concerned of the well-being of Urological Society of India. Probably he was with the others, the pioneers who actually formed the Urological Society of India. And that is how he was very, very interested that the society has to remain united, society has to progress. And that was the only thing in his mind. I actually came to know him very well during Bhubaneswar conference. When we had the organizing committee meetings, he was attending almost every organizing committee meeting. We used to go from our place to Bhubaneswar, and the kind of enthusiasm and kind of interest which he had in making sure that Bhubaneswar UCCon has to be excellent was really appreciated by everybody. I didn't realize that he was 90 years old at that time. At that age, to take such an interest with such a great enthusiasm is really unbelievable. On the last day, it was 26 January, and he was the first person to come for the flag hosting. I mean, there were so many things to learn from him. Anytime I have seen in my career, when I have attended the general body meetings and the discussion taking place, anytime when there was a discussion about the constitution, his word was taken final. He always had suggestions which were actually appreciated by everybody. In fact, previously when the voting was started and the voting became actually a big affair, probably by de facto, he was the election officer, because everybody were 100% sure that once Dr. Brigadier Rautray is there, everything is going to be absolutely fair. So that was the kind of respect which he had gained by his behavior, by his working, in every member of the society. Today we lost such person. It's really very sad. And I don't think that vacuum which is created by passing away of the Professor Rautray, Professor Dr. Brigadier Rautray sir will ever be fulfilled. I have heartfelt condolences in this. I hope his soul rests in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sabnis. Now I would invite Dr. K.K. Panigrahi. He's going to give a brief PowerPoint presentation. Over to you, Dr. Panigrahi.
Yes, sir. Namaskar. Good evening, everybody. I'll just briefly present his live sketch of Professor Brigadier Rautray. My slides are visible, Dr. Keshav?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sir.
Okay, thank you. Actually, Dr. Brigadier Rautray sorry. So he is a figure of USI. Everybody knows he graduated from SCP Medical College, Cuttack in 1946. He did his master in surgery from Pune. He joined the armed forces in 1960, and he had the honor of participating in the Indo-China War 1962. And he has been awarded with Ati Visishta Saman and Visishta Saman medals from armed forces. He did his urology training from Newcastle between 1970-72. He returned and established urology in services in armed forces. He was the president of USI in 1987 and 88. After his retirement, he practiced in Delhi. Later, he moved to his home state and settled to practice urology in Orissa, Bhubaneswar. He survived with his wife, Srimati Bhagyalata Rautray, and 2 children. One of them is an oncosurgeon, Dr. Deepak, who retired from Air Forces also. Our sincere condolences to his family. May his soul rest in peace. So his ancestral history, actually he has migrated, his ancestral forefathers migrated from Rajasthan to Orissa. He was brought by rather than fighter, means freedom fighter, or so to say, this Paiko Vidro, which was going on in Orissa. They were brought as a guru to teach the Sainiks or Paikas about the Astra Shastra, means sword, how to make the sword fighting and all these things. That's why there is ancestral history also. And he belongs to one village near Bhubaneswar, that is Guru Janga. That is known as Guru, actually meaning is Guru Jungle. Means one jungle was donated to or gifted to these gurus. Means they were teaching the Paikas for their services by the king. These are his actually ancient photographs. During a really young time, he got married to Mrs. Bhagyalata, and during army hours, after retirement, and during his lives, different. In our East Zone, actually, he was very active in our East Zone, and he participated in the 2011, the Port Blair Conference. Many people participated. Dr. P.V. Singh is seen behind Professor Panda as the president, was felicitating Dr. Brigadier Rautray. You are seen being in the conference also, and relaxing with Dr. Chivar and Dr. L. Kisau and Dr. Rajendra Singh, national president and state presidents. And he was all along with us in every meeting, like Dr. Sabnish told. He was always #1 in all our Odisha meetings. Every month he used to meet, and wherever we organized, he used to call. He used to come on time and never took any services from us. He is a very principled man. And he was inaugurating our 2018 Odisha Urology annual conference. These are his actually battalion. Under his leadership, Professor Panda, me and others are there at Bhubaneswar conference, East Zone conference. And along with Dr. Rautray, gradually is and our Shraddhanjali to him on behalf of Urological Odisha, Urological Society of Odisha and East Zone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Panigrahi. Now I would invite Dr. Kalyan Sarkar, President of the East Zone Chapter of Urological Society of India, to speak a few words. Over to you, Dr. Kalyan Sarkar.
Good evening, everyone. It is with a heavy heart that I come up to talk about Brigadier Rautray. Like Ravindra Sabnis and just spoke earlier, over the last 30 years of my association with the USI, I have been privileged to have been associated with Brigadier Rautray. He was a very genial person, loving for everyone. He was the custodian of ethics, morality, and also the history of the Urological Society of India, of which he was, he had great depth of knowledge. And this culminated in the production of one of the important USI publications on the history of urology in this country. And when one goes to that book, one realizes the depth of knowledge he had and the amount of dedication he spent the painstaking research that he conducted with help of other stalwarts of the time to create this book. Being a part of the East Zone family, it's been, he has, we were amazed to see that despite his advancing years, he would make a sincere effort to come to every meeting and bless us with his graceful presence. And he was so encouraging to all of us. And one, of course, is an admiration of his career in the army, in the Indochina War, and subsequently he conducted his career in the armed forces with distinction, and then in private practice, private work in the city of New Delhi, and then in Odisha. So to us in the East Zone, we have lost truly a father figure, the senior most urologist of our zone. And I offer on behalf of all the members of East Zone USI our humble obeisance to him. May he rest in peace. With these few words, I will conclude. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on this occasion.
Thank you, sir. Now I would invite Dr. Ranjan Dey, Secretary of the East Zone Chapter of USI, to speak a few words. Over to you, Dr. Ranjan.
Good evening, respected sir and the Secretary. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude for the great soul. Last 28 years, the way as a student to presently as a Secretary of the Urological Society's Zone Chapter in my journey, I have encountered Dr. Rautray in different positions. I have seen him last time during the Odisha conference as Dr. Sabnis was mentioning, he used to be present in all the meetings of the council body to make a very good presentation of the Urological Society of India's annual conference. But what really I got impressed about him, yesterday only I saw a issue of USI where he has written the entire history of the USI, starting from the 12 members body to today almost 8,000 members of a society, and in which in every line he has expressed his sincere gratitude to Dr. Mahesh Desai, was the then president of Urological Society of India, and also Dr. Ajay Kumar sir, who was the secretary of the Urological Society of India. His honesty, his clear vision, and his dedication both for his country and for his profession is one of the very admirable, and one must learn to follow this kind of a character in their life. With this small few words, I really express my sincere condolences to for his loss, to his family, and also for our fraternity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ranjan Dey. Now I would invite Dr. Mahesh Desai to speak a few words. Mahesh Desai is actually in the United States and has joined in to pay his respects. Over to you, Dr. Mahesh Desai. Dr. Mahesh Desai, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Brigadier Rautray belonged to India. I mean, he was so much focused on the urology in all over India. At that time, I came to know him first in 1987, and then he told me, because I wanted the conference to be in Ahmedabad, and then he said, no, we will try to take the conference to Patna because Bihar needs a urology. And he was thinking of total nationally that, and he was very proud to be an Indian. Sometime our conference overlapped 26 January, and he was a little upset. But on that day, we should be celebrating our Independence Day, our Republic Day, and then he brought the sense of belonging, and he was truly encouraging us in during my tenure as a president, and during after other office position, he was very much helping. I was lucky. His son was posted in Baroda, so he used to come to Nadiad quite often, and I had a privilege. He stayed with me, he blessed me, and then we had arranged a pilgrimage tour for him and his wife to Dwarka, and ever since, I mean, even up to couple of months ago, we talked on the phone, and he was always concerned about something, you know. So I really, we all were lucky to have him as our founder member of the Urological Society of India, and we will definitely miss him. But we must celebrate his work and his thoughts and his commitments. And with this, I salute him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would invite Dr. Professor S.N. Panda, who is also a very senior member from the East Zone, to speak a few words. Over to you, Dr. Panda.
Thank you, Dr. Keshamurthy. Am I heard?
Yes, sir, you are heard, sir.
Now, I had a very long association with Brigadier Rautray, maybe 40 years or more. I'm about 10, 12 years younger to him. We passed from the same institute, SC Medical College, during our graduation. And then he went to Pune. He got his MS done there. And with a little urological training from Newcastle upon Tyne, he came and started urology in the armed forces. Now, one thing is very, very classical about him. We say in Odia here that he is Ajata Satru. Ajata Satru means a man who has no enemies. Whomsoever you will see, everybody will be endearing him. He calls everybody in the first name because you are the senior most person. He wishes everyone, every family during all the festivals. That is one of the greatest things that one can see in him. Now he was also a committed soldier, disciplined. He was proud to become an army man. Not only that, he inspired his family members to join army in some force or others. His son was in the Air Force, and now his granddaughter is doing dental in Armed Forces Medical College in Pune. She subsequently should join probably the Armed Forces. Now,
I'm Dr. Sivaramakrishna. The granddaughter is a maxillofacial surgeon who is serving in the Indian Army, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to interrupt your speech.
I stand corrected, yes. I stand
No, sir. I just was adding to your speech.
Okay, right.
Okay. At this time, sir, I just wanted to say Group Captain Rautray had sent a message. I have posted it on this meeting. The family is more than extremely grateful for all the love and affection showered on Brigadier Basudev Rautray. Sorry, I was stealing your time, sir. Please continue. I'll speak later whenever the chair
I stand corrected because my information was little earlier information. Now, he is a man. He has no enemy. That is why in Urological Society of India was a one-man peace force. Wherever there is a controversy in the Urological Society of India, it is Brigadier Rautray who will be nominated by the then president, or he will be, the executive committee used to nominate him. He will come and in his own way, he will solve all the problems. Laughingly, endearing everybody, and there was no problem. And during our time, I have become a member of some of this committee where he was the head, and things were going so smoothly because everybody who sees him will like him, will agree with him, and therefore there was no problem at all. As other people have told, that he was interested in the Academy of Urology. He was one of the earliest urologists in the country, but he kept himself abreast with the recent development. While he was in army, he had requested all the urologists in the Delhi to come at least for 1 week, so 1 day in a week, so that certain academic discussion or presentation takes place. He kept it up when he left army and became a practitioner in Delhi. And when he came back to Orissa, then you'll ask me, why did he come back leaving such a lucrative practice in Orissa? Because there's a lot of law for Orissa, his own state. He came here, he instigated me that we must have some academic forum somewhere, and we did it. And as others, as the Ravindra Savnis and other people have told, he has never missed a meeting. And one good thing about him is, because of his busy discipline in the army, he was absolutely punctual. If I become 2 minutes late, because sometimes I used to conduct meetings, you will say, Satyanarayana, you are late by 2 minutes. That was the admonition he did on me. I expected him as my elder brother. He loved me as his younger brother. We have family relations of him and our family. Now, there are certain things that I will also highlight. Now, he was a rigid army man. He was a good practitioner, but when he came to Orissa, he was entrusted with the administration of a Kalinga hospital, the only corporate hospital which are running in loss. Everything was not right about the hospital. And 2-3 years' time, he set everything in order. That also shows his administrative acumen, how good an administrator he is. So he is a man who is a Ajata Satru. He is a man, a par excellent administrator. He is a good urologist. He is an academician, and he was a very loving husband and loving father. We were really shocked in Orissa because at least I, who have a long associations with him, I pray God that his soul may rest his peace. And God also will give strength to the bereaved family so that they can tide over this particular crisis and sorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Panda, for your tributes. Now I would invite Dr. Ajay Kumar, past President of the Urological Society of India, to pay his tributes. Over to you, Dr. Ajay Kumar. Dr. Ajay Kumar, sir, you're there? Hello, I saw him, he had logged in.
No, Keshav, we can take him later. At present, he seems to be disconnected.
Okay. Can I invite Dr. Jagdev, who was associated with him, to speak a few words? Dr. Jagdev. I don't find Jagdev also. Dr. Datteshwar Hota, if you are there, you can speak. Dr. Datteshwar Hota.
Good evening, all my good evening, all my esteemed participants on this occasion of paying our tribute to our beloved Brigadier Rautray. In fact, I am in the airport, Calcutta airport, on my way back to Bhubaneswar from Guwahati. The evening when I heard about the news, I was upset because I was a regular visitor to him in his house during the last few years. Even though the corona pandemic was there, I made it a point to reach his house and get encouragement from him. Well, I was like a son to him right from the day he came to Bhubaneswar. Prior to that, when he was in Delhi, I was not very much associated. But after he came to Bhubaneswar, I really became a fan of him. I started admiring his qualities, his personalities. He's a man of really high stature. Not only he stands strong all the time, stood strong all the time, but the discipline, what Professor Panda has already mentioned. He is a person who loves everyone. He's a person who used to love everyone, and he remembers everyone by name. And since he came to Odisha, in fact, with his guidance and with his participation, our society became very active. We started doing more number of seminars. Miss any occasion to attend it. And as pointed out also, he's the first to come for any meeting. And he used to say one thing, that you people do not know what is punctuality. He was not only involved in the medical fraternity meeting, he also had a veteran club. He was part of the Rotary. And the same thing he used to
Dr. Hota, you got muted.
mobile, possibly.
Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, because I am doing it in mobile.
No problem.
So he used to say, I do not find my people, my friends here who have not been able to be punctual till date. And he was instrumental in organizing and patronizing all the meetings that we had during his time. And the last one, if I remember correctly, he was ever present in our UCCon 2019. All have seen him. And at that point of time, he was looking very agile, very active, to the tune. The then president also, he was telling you have to wear a cap when you are attending the flag hosting ceremony. Now, he's a man of principle, man of discipline. He has inculcated in us many of his qualities, for which we'll definitely remember him forever. And whenever I was getting a call from him, the only thing he was telling, Datteshwar, why you are not meeting me nowadays? And he will inquire about everybody's. And whenever he speaks to me during that time, he will say me, Datteshwar, you are already defaulter as regard your interaction with me. I used to jocularly say that, sir, I have got 2 chicks, you can slap on either chicks. So this is a relationship we are maintaining, and I was enjoying. As a father figure, I was enjoying. We'll be missing him all throughout during the rest of the career that we have. I know Madam was also very loving. Whenever we have gone to his house with my wife, I have gone several times to his house. They were so happy when we were meeting them. We'll be missing him. We'll be missing the warmth and the love that he was bestowing on us. I pray God that the Brig family get the strength to endure the loss. And I also pray God, the fraternity, urology fraternity also bear and endurance bear the loss. And I believe the family will definitely be with all of us, will be with the family in this gloomy hours. And I pray God that let his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Datteshwar Hota. Now I would invite Dr. Jagdev, if he's there.
He's there.
Dr. Jagdev.
He's there.
Over to Dr. Jagdev.
Unmute.
Dr. Jagdev, you have to unmute.
Unmute, please unmute.
We are not able to hear you, Dr. Jagdev.
You have to unmute.
Can you hear me, Samneet?
Yeah. Can I invite Dr. Ajay Kumar, who is logged in now, to speak a few words? Dr. Ajay Kumar, who is the past president of the USI. Dr. Ajay Kumar, over to you.
Thank you, Keshavamurthy. Well, I'm really saddened to note that Brigadier Rautray is not with us now. Well, for last few years, he was not very well. And of course, he lived a very, good long life of 93 years. But when I got the news of his death, so many things flashed in my mind. What a pleasant man.
always helping people, always worried not about himself. So many times I used to ask him, sir, you have got, because he used to love me. He used to like me, that I know of. And whenever I used to ask him, sir, आपकी तबीयत, अरे मेरे को कुछ नहीं हुआ, अरे एकदम ठीक है, तू चंगा है ना, are you all right? And every time he will meet, he will talk about organization, people, young urologists, and that was his beauty. I remember one very important incident when he was compiling the book on history of Indian urology. He was contacting people, going through and working really hard on it. And he kept me also in the loop for a few things. One day, he called me 3 times. Somehow or the other, I could not take his call. Then he rings somebody else. Please find out if Ajay is all right. It's not that he's not taking my phone, this, that. If Ajay is all right, then the friend rang me up. He said, sir, I want to talk to you. I said, I was stuck somewhere. That's why I couldn't call him. So what I'm saying is, he was not getting annoyed with me, but he was worried in case I have some problem that I'm not taking his phone. That was his duty. Professor Brigadier Rautray was a man we all know. Since I came to USI, he became president, and after that, every election, which was a ballot election, he was unanimously elected as the chief to conduct the election of the USI. That was Professor Rautray, Brigadier Rautray. And I'm sure people must have talked about him more and more. I saw Mahesh Bhai talking, or Panda and all talking. I couldn't hear them. There was some problem with the connection. But I can say that we have lost a gem of Urology Society of India. And I'm sure the way he lived here, helped others, concern for the society, that will go, after his departure from here, wherever his soul has gone, he will do the same wonderful thing. And I think I have spoken enough. I can write a full chapter on Brigadier Rautray. But with these words, I pay my respectful homage to the great man who was like a guardian to me, who is not with us anymore.
Thank you, sir, for your tributes. Now I would invite Dr. Jagdev if he can speak now. He had some problem earlier. Dr. Jagdev. Dr. Jagdev, can you unmute yourself and speak?
Yeah, I have unmuted already. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible now. Yes.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Good evening to all the senior members, all the members, those who have logged into this webinar, which is being held to give pay tributes to the great man, Brigadier Rautray. Everybody has told everything about him. I was associated with him for quite some time after he came back to Odisha. When I joined my residency program at Army Hospital Delhi Camp, that time I had met him. One thing is special in him is that he will never mix words. It might be his own son. It might be the most beloved person, whoever it might be. He has told me, said, I was very much closely associated with him professionally and, personal terms and family-wise also. he has said some things like that. His son, he wanted to do urology also, who was in Air Force, and he wanted to do urology. But somehow that he could not, he was not chosen for that specialty. And then he approached the person who was in the selection committee, and then he was told, his son was told, you tell your son, your father, if he speaks to me, then I will your father like to speak to me? If he speaks to me, then I'll consider your case. Then, because that is the reputation in the services also he had, that even for his son also, he told me that, yes, I cannot do that. You see, because that is the principle that I cannot, it is not possible on my part. So that is what is Brigadier Rautray. For that, as Dr. Ajay Kumar sir told, that all the time, till he was capable, he was anonymously selected as the Chief Electoral Officer of Urological Society of India. That is what is Brigadier Rautray, and he was a father figure to all of us. Um, he will support anything. A few years back, I expressed my intention that, sir, I want to visit centers of eminence once in a year or once in 2 years. And this year, there is a conference. There is a conference at Muljay Patel Hospital. So I told sir, please, can you please speak a few words to Dr. Mohesh Desai sir, so that he will allow me to be there. After the conference, I'll be there for 1 week or so. So without any hesitation, without blinking eye, till next moment he will immediately tell, and he'll tell, Jagat, I have spoken to him, and it is fine. We can go. So that is the encouragement he gives to all the urologists, young and elder. So that's why he is respected so much in the society. As Professor Panda has told, he was Anam Ajata Satru, means he was born without any enemy, which is very unique. This is very special in Brigadier Rautray. What's the last part? Because of age factor might be, or because of the COVID, he could not socialize himself. So he was not keeping well. Towards the last part, I also could not visit him, and I did not want to see him in that situation, in that condition, physical and mental condition. That was one of the factors also. With these words, I pay my sincere tributes to the departed soul, Brigadier Rautray, and I pray for the Almighty for the noble soul to rest in peace. And I pray the family to have enough strength to bear this loss. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Jagdev. Can I invite, I see Professor S. Varadarajan, who is also a very senior member who is logged in. Can I invite Professor Varadarajan to speak a few words?
Unmute. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Yeah, good evening to everyone, particularly the organizers. Brigadier Rautray, one of the senior most urologists of India, is no more with us. Salutations to the veteran who served in the Army Medical Corps and established urological units in the Army. He has trained several urologists in the armed forces. His distinguished services to the USA as the president and his immense contribution for the betterment of urologists will be remembered forever. Apart from his academic achievements, he played a major role in conducting the USA elections year after year as a returning officer. He did this with great involvement without prejudice or favor to anyone. My heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family members. Soldiers never die, they just disappear. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Varadarajan. Can I invite Dr. Anil Vashni, Treasurer of the Urological Society of India, to say a few words? Sir, you're not audible, sir. Dr. Anil Vashni, you're not audible, sir. Dr. Anil Vashni, I think you'll have to re-log in. You're not audible. Meanwhile, I'll invite Dr. Sivaramakrishnan, who's closely associated with the son, Dr. Deepak, to say a few words. Dr. Sivaramakrishnan. Shiva, you're also not heard.
I think you may have to disconnect the Bluetooth or something, whatever, if you're connected.
Shiva, Shiva, you're not audible. No. Shiva, you're not audible.
You can take Lakshman Prabhu by then.
Yeah. Dr. Lakshman Prabhu, Secretary-elect of the Urological Society of India, Dr. Lakshman Prabhu.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. All that I will say is that to the grand old disciplinarian of USI, a big salute, and he will be missed for a long, long time to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshman Prabhu. Can I invite Dr. Anil Vashni if he is audible now? Dr. Anil Vashni? Sir, you're still not audible.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
audible, Shiva.
You can go ahead.
Thank you, Keshav. Can I say a few words?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Group Captain, retired Sivaramakrishna. I'm a very dear friend of Deepak Rautray, Brigadier Basudev Rautray's son, who's 9 years senior to me and who's been a friend, philosopher, and guide to me. To start with, I would like to tell you that I am associated with the Rautray family for a very long time because I am a child from Armed Forces Medical College, and the loss of Brigadier Basudev Rautray to me is the loss of a Tau. That means my father's elder brother. I have known him for a very, very long time, and I have too many personal memories which I cannot share. As a part of the extended family, I would like to tell you this much, that Deepak Rautray and the entire Rautray family are extremely indebted, and they are very, 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 that's what Deepu told me. They are extremely happy the way Urological Society of India is celebrating his passing on. Loss of a senior member is always a big loss to us, but the acknowledgement that he has been, and so many times Ajata Shatru has been repeated. The Rautray family really acknowledges that. On a personal front, let me tell you this much, कि Brigadier Basudev Rautray was extremely happy when I became a urologist, when I joined All India Institute. Deepak, like somebody mentioned, wanted to be a urologist, but situations in the armed forces are very fragile and tenable. So that time there was an opening only for surgical oncology, so Deepak got into it. His younger daughter became a maxillofacial surgeon and she's serving in the army. I'm associated with the family for a long time. The fact is that this gentleman has actually done so much for this organization. His imprint will always remember, and I thankfully acknowledge that he is the founding father of Armed Forces Urology, and he was one of the founding members of Urology Society of India. Thank you everyone for giving me a place and forum to express this particular thing. I have left one message on this particular Zoom chat, which Deepu wanted me to convey to the entire USA community. They are very, very happy and thankful for the concern and blessings bestowed upon them. Thank you. And since I don't see any armed forces member logged in today, as a member of the veteran community and a member of the armed forces, I personally wish to acknowledge the recognition which is granted by USI to our own beloved Brigadier Basudev Rautray. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Shiva. Now, can I invite Anil Varshni if he can speak now? Dr. Anil Varshni?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Keshav and Dr. Sabnis, to have organized this prayer meeting for Brigadier Rautray. And my association dates back to 80s when he was in Delhi, and he used to be the real soldier, a very disciplined soldier who would invite, who used to conduct these Delhi Urology Society meetings, and a source of inspiration to all of us, just because that he will ensure punctuality, discipline, and all has been said. And I have really very high regards and praise for him. And I must salute him. And I must say that in this homage, we have lost a great person who used to live urology, eat urology, and drink urology. So the Urology Society will remain ever indebted to a personality of this magnitude, and we are humbled, and we are supposed to follow his footsteps and take urology higher ever and higher. So with these words, I submit my homage to him and to all the members who have come here. And I must thank all of you to have organized this prayer meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Can I invite Dr. Ashok Sharma? Dr. Ashok Sharma.
Yeah. Thank you, Keshav. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
See, I have an association with Brigadier Rautray since 1991, when I was a senior resident at Batra Hospital, and he always used to say me, "Are MCH karo, senior residency nahi karni hai." And probably his thirst pushed me to urology MCH. And later, I was a little close to him because of Professor S.C. Mathur. He always used to ask me, "Mathur ko nahi laye." And one very important thing which I want to share is, when I was secretary Norjon, we formed the guidelines for awards, which probably many people didn't like, but he was the only man who stood rock hard for the guidelines and got the guidelines passed. I'm really impressed, and I carry a lot of things from him, of his personality, the straightforward person he was, and the loving man he was. I really pay my respectful homage to Professor Brigadier Rautray, and I wish God gave place to his noble soul in his own custody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ashok Sharma. Can I invite Professor Vijay Kumar? Professor Vijay Kumar. I saw him, he was logged in.
He is there, he has to unmute. Dr. Vijay Kumar, he is already there.
Dr. Vijay Kumar, please unmute.
I think he can't hear. Anyway.
Dr. Arun Chawla, if you are there, you want to speak a few words? Arun
Am
Chawla.
I audible? Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are
Vijay
audible.
Kumar.
Hello. Thanks.
Yes, Dr. Vijay Kumar,
Dr.
please go ahead.
Cabinet for giving me this great opportunity to pay my homage to Brigadier Rautray. Just like what Dr. Ashok Sharma told, my introduction to Dr. Rautray was when I was a resident, and my teacher, Professor Ambast, always spoke very high of him. And it is through Professor Ambast I got introduced to Brigadier Rautray. And he was such a loving person that whenever he comes to meet me, it appears that you are meeting someone very close in your family. I'm really miss a father figure from the Urology Society of India. And the greatest homage we can pay to the great soul is that we all should imbibe the positivity which Brigadier Rautray had. Even if we have a little bit of positivity, I think his soul will lie in peace. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Vijay Kumar, for your tribute. If Dr. Arun Chawla is logged in, can he speak? Dr. Arun Chawla?
He's there.
Dr. Arun?
Chawla is there. He is logged in.
Dr. Kim Mammon? Dr. Kim Mammon? Am I not audible?
Can you hear? Am
Yeah,
I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're audible.
Thank you, Mr. President and Secretary of the USI, for giving me this opportunity. I knew Brigadier Rautray when I entered the urology fraternity as a MCH student when he was the president and late Professor Rautray was the secretary. I always learned that he was the expert in the constitution. And later on, when I became the secretary of the Urological Society of India, I used to call him at least once in 2 or 3 months for getting certain clarification of our rules and regulations. And whenever we need to do some amendment of our constitution, I always found that he was a real authority on the constitution, rules and regulations and bylaws. And he, along with other veterans of our society, our teachers, made the society more stronger and vibrant and robust. And at this time of bereavement, I share my grief with all the bereaved members and family, friends, students, and colleagues. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
I think Professor Venugopal is logged in. If he can speak, he had sent me a message that he's having severe back pain and asked me to convey his message, but I can see him logged in. If he can speak, Professor Venugopal, are you able to speak? Professor Venugopal? No, I don't think he's able to speak. Okay. Is there anyone who wants to speak whom I have not called for? I can't see. I can see Professor Dogra, past president, logged in. Professor Dogra, you want to speak?
Yeah, certainly.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say one thing that Professor Brigadier Rautray, he was an institution in himself. I have known him since 1986 when he and Professor Shraddhanjali Singh, they were very close friends. And they formed the Delhi Urology Society. And he asked me, Dogra, bhai tum secretary ban jao na, tum organize karo. That time there were problem in organizing. So we used to organize those Delhi Urology Society. We used to rotate in all the major hospitals in the Delhi. And he was so particular, which everyone here mentioned, about the punctuality And of course, his dedication and devotion, which beyond anybody's imagination. But he was a very, very lovely person, always remember you and call you by the first name. That shows that how really he loved you, or he liked you, or he wanted to show that he really close to you. I have great regard and respect for the great person. It's a great loss for the society, for all of us. And I pay my tribute to the departed soul, and may God give the strength to the Brig family to bear this void. Thank you.
Okay, if there's somebody to speak, you can please raise your hand, or you can unmute and just inform us. Okay. I think most of them have said all about good things about Brigadier Rautray. As a resident, we have seen him since 1994. I've seen him in the activities of the Urological Society of India. Later on, when we took to the office, he was always guiding us about how to conduct the meetings and how to do the amendments, all those, as Kim Mammon told. He was a expert in this USI constitution, which we always would refer to for any controversies which were there. He was the man last resort who would give us the last word in the GBMs. And he was a very pleasing personality and would be friendly to all, and he would always call by your first name. And that was the most admirable thing about, even though he was quite old, he would always call us by our first name. He was a great disciplinarian, great soldier, and you can see his meritorious service in the armed forces. And he is the one who has established the urology services. I spoke to his son the day he expired, and conveyed the condolences of the Urological Society of India to their family. With these few words, we pay respect to the great soul, and the Urological Society of India has lost a great man. But as Mahesh Desai told, let us celebrate this life of the legend, Brigadier Rautray. Thank you, all of you, for joining in. With the permission of the President, shall we close this meeting?
Yes, please. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for letting us express all our opinions. God bless USI, and let us always cherish Brigadier Rautray's memories.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind to all. Jai Hind.